You just lost an hour, and nothing changed. Same voices, same slides, same vague nodding that feels like agreement until you realize nobody owns a next step. Talking replaced deciding. Opinions bullied the real constraints, like budget, time, and legal risk. Ambiguity pretended to be alignment. Your calendar filled up, your work stalled, and the meeting still got called productive. If a meeting cannot produce a decision, it is not a meeting. It is a group chat with chairs. Moving to slide 2. A lot of meetings fail because the agenda is a list of topics. Pricing, roadmap, hiring. A topic is an invitation to wander, to debate forever, to perform expertise. A decision forces the room into specifics. It names the choice, the options, and the trade-offs. Try this. Rewrite every agenda line as a decision statement. Not Q3 roadmap. Instead, decide which 3 initiatives ship in Q3. Not marketing update. Instead, decide whether to increase paid spend by 20% this month. Move updates out of meetings. Put them in writing, async, with one question at the end. What decision do you need from me? When the meeting is built on questions, not status theater, time boxing suddenly works because there is a finish line. Moving to slide 3. Give each time block one decision. 1. The moment you bundle decisions, clarity dies. You end up trading one choice against another without realizing it, and someone leaves thinking they agreed to A, while someone else thinks they approved B. Set the block like this. By 10:30, we will decide X. Then protect it. Start by naming the decision in one sentence. If you cannot do that, you are not ready to meet. Next, order decisions by dependency. If decision B depends on decision A, do not discuss B first. You will waste 20 minutes arguing about a future that collapses the moment A changes. During the block, do not let the group drift into hypotheticals. Bring it back to the options on the table and the constraints that actually bind you. When a new sub-issue shows up, park it unless it changes the decision. And here is the discipline most teams miss. The second the decision is made, you stop. You don't keep talking while we have everyone. You lock the outcome, name the owner, set the deadline, and end the block clean. Moving to slide 4. Every decision meeting needs 4 inputs. A crystal clear decision statement. Real, comparable options. Explicit constraints, ranked by what matters most. And a recommendation with rationale, plus an owner and a deadline. If any one of those is missing, you are not running a meeting. You are running a guessing game that burns time and protects indecision. Moving to slide 5. Use AI as the gatekeeper before the meeting ever happens. Feed it your messy topic and make it convert that into a decision statement. Then give it your constraints and ask for options that are factually comparable, not a random list. Next, have it surface missing information fast. Ask, what would a smart skeptic need to know to decide this today? It will point to gaps like cost ranges, legal approvals, capacity limits, or the metric you are optimizing. Then stress test assumptions. Ask it to argue against your preferred option using your stated constraints. Ask for failure modes, second-order effects, and what would make you reverse the decision in 2 weeks. Finally, have it draft the agenda in your format. 1 decision per block. The inputs required, who must attend, and what must be pre-read. When AI gates the meeting, humans stop performing and start choosing. Moving to slide 6. Before you walk into a decision, run a quick checklist. Is this reversible, or will it lock you in? What does a 1-week delay cost in dollars, churn, or missed learning? Write the second-order effects, not just the first win. Map your biggest risks to specific mitigations you will actually do. Then define success upfront, so you don't rewrite the scoreboard later. That is how you earn decision quality, not just decision speed. Moving to slide 7. If you want people to read, make it easy to finish. Write a 1-page decision brief and treat the page like a contract with the reader's attention. Put the clear ask at the top in 1 sentence, like, approve option B and the budget cap. Then use short sections with no more than 3 bullets each. Context, options, constraints, risks, and impact. If a bullet needs a paragraph, it belongs in an appendix link, not in the page. Quantify what matters. Put cost, timeline, and key assumptions in plain language, with numbers. When you present options, show the trade-offs side by side, not buried in prose. At the bottom, add the questions you need answered, phrased so someone can respond in one line. Any legal blockers? Do we accept a 2-week slip to reduce vendor risk? Finally, include a time estimate for review, like 5 minutes or 12 minutes. You are setting expectations and reducing resistance. A good pre-read does not persuade by volume. It earns trust by being readable and decisive, and it makes roles in the room feel obvious. Moving to slide 8. Meetings drag when responsibility is fuzzy. Fix that by assigning roles before the calendar invite goes out. First, pick a single DRI for the decision. That person is accountable for the final call and for gathering input, even if others execute parts of it. Next, assign one facilitator. Their job is strict flow, not opinions. They keep the group on the decision, stop side quests, and time-box debate. Then assign one scribe who keeps a real-time log, not notes, a decision log, options considered, key risks, mitigations, owners, dates, and the exact wording of the call. If it is not captured, it did not happen. Invite the right people, not observers. If someone cannot provide critical information, approve a constraint, or own an action, they do not need to be there. Observers can read the log later, and set an escalation path ahead of time. If the decision is blocked, everyone should know who resolves it, and by when. When roles are clear, you do not need more meetings. You need one meeting that moves. Moving to slide 9. Keep the flow simple enough that you can repeat it every time. Start with 2 minutes of context only. The goal is alignment, not storytelling. Then compare options against constraints, like budget cap, deadline, security requirements, and staffing. If an option violates a constraint, name it and move on. When objections come up, convert them into risks with a mitigation or a test. I do not like it becomes risk, integration may slip by 2 weeks. Mitigation, run a spike by Friday. Then the DRI makes the decision call using explicit language, so nobody leaves guessing. After that, confirm owners and dates out loud, including the next checkpoint and what done means. You do not end a decision meeting with vibes. You end with commitments, and the words you chose matter. Moving to slide 10. Use language that forces clarity. Say we decide, not we discuss. Say blocked by, not concerned about, so you surface the real constraint. Label assumption versus fact, so guesses do not masquerade as reality. State the trade-off accepted and document it so it does not get relitigated. And if you defer, do it cleanly with a trigger, like deferred until we get pricing from vendor X on Tuesday. Clear language turns a meeting into an artifact people can follow later. Moving to slide 11. If you do not have a decision log, your decisions evaporate. The fix is simple. Create one source of truth and treat it like a system of record. Every time the team makes a call, log it the same day. Capture the decision in one sentence, the date and the decider. Not the loudest person, the actual owner. Then write the rationale in bullets. Keep it tight. What facts mattered, what assumptions you made, what you chose to ignore. This is how you stop rerunning the same debate in 2 weeks. Link follow-ups directly to tasks, not vague notes. If a decision creates work, the log should point to the exact ticket or checklist where that work lives. And when a decision is reversible, add a revisit date. That way you are not arguing forever, you are running an experiment with a scheduled checkpoint. When your decision log is real, meetings get shorter, ownership gets clearer, and even your AI can reason from solid ground. Moving to slide 12. Most people use AI like a magic 8-ball. You will get better results when you treat prompts like decision tools. Start by rewriting the mess as a binary decision. For example, should we ship this feature this sprint? Yes or no? That forces clarity. Then ask for 3 viable options, not 10. You want a small set you can actually choose from, each one meaningfully different. Next, feed the AI your notes or transcript and say, extract constraints from this text. You are looking for deadlines, budget limits, policy rules, dependencies, and non-negotiables you forgot to write down. After you draft your recommendation, run a red team prompt. Here is my recommendation. argue against it, list failure modes, and what evidence would change the decision. Finally, ask for a one-page brief. One page forces structure. If the AI cannot summarize it cleanly, you do not understand it yet. And once you have a clean brief, you have something you can reuse. Moving to slide 13. Now you package all of this into one template you reuse. Put the decision statement at the top. One sentence, no wiggle room. Then add an options table. Keep it readable. Options down the left, constraints across the top, and a quick note on how each option performs. Under that, write your recommendation with explicit trade-offs. What you gain, what you give up, and what you are betting on. Then list risks, mitigations, and open questions. If a question blocks the decision, mark it. If it does not, park it. At the end, paste the decision log entry you will record once the call is made. When the template includes the log, you stop treating documentation like extra work and start treating it like closing the loop. Moving to slide 14. Close the loop fast. Send the decision within 30 minutes while context is still fresh. Confirm every follow-up task in one place with an owner and due date. If a follow-up is done, cancel the check-in instead of letting it linger on calendars. Once a month, measure decision cycle time so you know if you are improving. Comment your biggest meeting pain. If you want more systems like this, subscribe. Technology changes fast. Great systems last.